Are Trump's tariffs going to kill or save American manufacturing?
To protect American jobs, American parts, American businesses, I'm sure you're a fan of tariffs, right?
Prices are rising. Shops have been closing over the last 4 years at a record rate. Is it because of foreign competition or Trump's trade war?
The answer is yes, Trump's tariffs can kill you. Or they could make a long-term better manufacturing environment for us. It really depends on how, as a company, we position ourselves. Okay, so if we stick our head in the sand and say this isn't happening, we're going to get definitely run over.
Tariffs is a double-edged sword, right? Because when you introduce a tariff, you create a distortion. So really it should be used to rectify something that's being done against competition in another country, right? It shouldn't be to give us an advantage.
So tariffs are a huge discussion right now, especially after what just happened to us last week. It happened, if I'm not incorrect, I think this exact same situation happened 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right, so tariffs were put on a lot of steel products that were coming from Europe, Germany, from all over into the United States. So what happened at the time, this is a few years ago, the local mills, they just upped their prices 1% less than the tariff. So if it's a 25% tariffs, they just increased their prices 24%. They didn't invest in new mills and all of that, right? Because it created a distortion. And the problem was they felt like this is a temporary fix. They're going to remove it. So they weren't making the capital investment and all of that.
So for us, we have a multi-million-dollar increase in our cost of raw materials.
Yep.
And when prices change, supply gets intermittent and shaky. So we need to have higher inventory levels to protect ourselves and protect our customers. So the worst mistake we could do is say, oh, it's going up 23.5, well then cancel my orders. I'm not going to order anything, right? So you'd end up like a Brazilian restaurant with no rice and no black beans. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Not going to work. So it's very important that with tariffs, as with any other storm, and it is a storm, that you position yourself properly to it because you'll come out of it ahead. And in the news recently is this idea of reciprocity. It's not just tariffs. The idea from this administration is, as best I can gather it, is like we're going to hit you with a big tariff, right? Which is like an insurmountable object. And that's going to cause you to book a flight to come to Washington to come talk to us. Basically is what it is. And then when we sit down, we're going to say, hey, look, you're exporting all this stuff to us and you have all these barriers and tariffs that you're charging on our products. You need to lower that. So that's a bilateral agreement between the United States and that country.
For example, in China, they do a tax export rebate. They've been doing it for decades, and our government has just allowed it to go like nobody saw it, didn't understand it. So if this product was exported, brought in from China, whoever exported it and got hard currencies into the central bank, they would get a rebate of 12% paid in yuan, right? So that is a huge amount, that causes a distortion. So in that case, I would recommend put a 12% tariff to level the field.
So reciprocity is a whole lot bigger concept than just tariff. Tariffs is kind of complicated because when you import to Brazil, there's a lot of costs associated with bringing an automobile or a vehicle with an internal combustion engine. It's like 50%. And we're charging you 1.5% on coffee or your agricultural products or your beef or no tariff at all. And you're charging 50% on our product. You need to take that off. So that's what reciprocity means. So let's take in this scenario, and this is a fictitious scenario, but let's say China's exporting forklift trucks to Brazil, right?
Yes.
And they're subsidizing the forklifts that are going to Brazil. And Brazil's charging 50% tariff from the United States and from China. So they always go with the Chinese forklift because it's not only 12% cheaper, they're paying less importation duties. It's a lot cheaper to get the Chinese forklift. So now if you've negotiated a bilateral agreement
Down to 20.
Down to 20, they'll buy only American forklifts. The Chinese forklift will be an inferior quality, but it'll also be more expensive than the American product in Brazil after importation.
After importation.
Okay, so that would be an example where a tariff and reciprocity, though it was uncomfortable in the beginning, will give a great boost for American manufacturing because now a major company that has a trade imbalance with the United States will give preferential bilateral treatment to the United States so that they can continue exporting products here. If the idea of reciprocity becomes a part of long-term American policy, you're going to have a manufacturing boom. Literally a golden age of manufacturing because we'll have the confidence to build factories, buy equipment, and start producing because we know administrations will defend our access to global markets.
And in this example, you used Brazil, but this can go for many, many countries.
Yeah, basically all of the trade partners with the United States. Some countries are much closer. But overall, the United States has a huge trade imbalance. We consume a lot and we export or produce less.
Our imports are greater than our exports.
Correct, and that's what's basically has led to part of our debt, our national debt, right? Is this international trade imbalance is contributing to that.
You don't want protection from the American government. You don't want them to pick you as the winner.
No.
You just want a level playing field.
That's it. Yeah, if we start picking up subsidies and things like that, that causes all kinds of distortions and inefficiencies, and it'll be worse for us in the long term.
Just one final on that. You know, do you think with the crazy environment, if they want to start a manufacturing business, should they wait till it's all calm and smooth to start up?
Yeah, my personal belief on that, I think you know it, my idea is that you should start a business at the absolute worst time. And I've met many successful business owners. Actually, we met that banker. They opened the bank right before the 2008 collapse. So fortunately, they navigated it, but they were lean and mean from the get-go,
Yep.
So when everything is good and everything's going great and stability, it's hard for a new company to gain traction. Okay.
Gotcha.
So when the economy's down and the purchasing managers are
They have time on their hands.
looking under every rock to find some kind of savings, that's a time where they're willing to consider new companies. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then again, just practically, like if you get in business when you're low and you build your capacity, your systems and everything, when the economy picks up, you're ready to go, right? But if you try to come into the game when everything's booming, it's really hard to ramp up.
Yep.
Right.
And then by the time you've ramped up, it's already slowed down.
Right, and then you can, like if you're in manufacturing, a lot of companies are going bankrupt. That's just a fact.
Yeah, the last
Every week.
the last 4 years have been terrible. I mean,
Yeah,
we
you
saw
see,
auctions after auctions after auctions.
Right, so you may be able to buy all your equipment, at a very reduced rate during this time. Once the business picks up and it's booming, every piece of equipment will be working. So
Yep.
you won't, you have to buy everything new and wait for it. So follow good principles, treat your people well, pay them as much as you can, and I think this is a perfect time to get started. I think we've got good days ahead.
Good. I sure hope so.
I'm almost done, so for you, for sure.
Oh, I hope it'll be a little smoother sailing.
Yeah, for you and the grandkids.
Absolutely.
No, it's been great. Manufacturing's been good to our family, and hopefully our family's been good to manufacturing.
I hope so.
Thank you all for watching, and I encourage you, if you have any questions or you have any content you want us to make, please feel free to reach out. And let's make America manufacture again.